If you're sick and tired of feeling overwhelmed at the lack of leads inside your business and you want a simple and clear strategy in how you can make clients chase you, then I highly recommend you watch this workshop where I do a masterclass on how you can create content that makes clients chase you. I talk about everything from the funnel to the frameworks to the system to help you make it happen. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the workshop. See you there. First off, thank you guys so much for being here. All right, whenever there's a rocky start, you just gotta brush it off, right? So we are here. I wanna be showing you guys everything I learned about how you can create content that gets clients to come to you. This is something that has been really pivotal in my career as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, as a founder. And the three kind of steps that I use to create content that makes clients come to you, because I've been in your shoes where you are chasing after clients, where you're running paid ads that are not working, where you're struggling to get leads, and it causes a lot of stress, causes anxiety, causes disconnect in your family. It is tremendously difficult. And so the goal here of this workshop and this presentation is I want you guys to walk away with a clear plan and strategy to know how you can make content that gets more DMs, more people asking about your programs, about your services, about your offer, and just to get more attention, right? This isn't a workshop to go viral. This isn't a workshop to become the next big influencer on YouTube. This is a workshop to get results, to get clients. So that is the goal. And what I like to say is to turn viewers from cold to sold, right? So as I shared before, 45 to 60 minutes, there'll be me speaking, giving you guys the information about the workshop, be 15, 25 minutes for a Q&A, and then 5 minutes for an offer, right? Really, really simple. So some of you guys know me, some of you guys don't. So just quick little introduction. This is my beautiful wife here in the corner. And not only did she change my life because she's amazing, but she was the reason why I got into video, when I got into photography. I've had this dream, lifelong dream of being a creator, never had the balls to do it. And she had a camera. It's like, well, why don't you just try? Like, what's the harm, right? And within 3 months of her giving me that camera, I quit my 9-to-5 job, got another job as a content creator, and content has been what has changed my life, right? It's allowed me to travel, allowed me to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, to work with millionaires, to get clients to come to me, to be on magazines, and to honestly just like be more free to do what I love, right? Like today, I really wanted a good sleep. I slept in a little bit, worked out. Like it was a pretty easy morning for me because I knew that I wanted to have all my energy for this call. Where in a lot of jobs or businesses, you don't have that luxury, right? And so this is what content has really, really done for me and what I want content to do for you all here on this call, okay? So a little bit of achievements to show you guys I know what I'm talking about. Over the last 2 years since I started my business, I've made around $300,000, and that isn't from like AdSense or sponsorships or stuff like that. This is from content and getting me clients for my services that I offer. So averaging about 20K per month, and I've been creating content for 5+ years, right? So this is me speaking on stage, me being interviewed on podcasts, me getting my picture taken for the magazine, and then the magazine itself, right? And I don't say this to boast, I just share this so I have some proof to show you guys that I know what I'm talking about, right? The next piece of achievement is my very first big client, which was a podcast, right? This is like not a videography client because I've done a lot of that for many, many years. But when I first started my agency, right, this was my first client. He came to me, he was a creator, maybe 1,500 followers on TikTok, almost none on Instagram or YouTube. And within 6 months, we were able to grow his following to almost 40,000. $10,000 on this podcast, all in the span of 6 months, right? And it was due to little changes that I'm going to share in this presentation that got some of these results, right? He doesn't run ads. He doesn't have to work like very, very hard in the sense of like doing things he doesn't like. he runs a podcast that with his best friend and has the time of his life. And Tanya will know because we watch his content all the time. They're drinking on the podcast. They're, reviewing funny things. They're having a blast while making money. And that is, again, the goal is like, we have to have fun while we do this. We have to enjoy this journey, right? And I want to make content fun again, right? Another success is a company of two founders, Raf and Tony, who gave me kind of my first, the job that I was talking about, right? Where I didn't have much experience, but I had, grit and honesty and transparency. They gave me a shot. And within about 8 to 12 months, I think, this is like 5 years ago, so I'm trying to remember, we were able to grow their LinkedIn following to 24,000, their YouTube subscribers to 5, and content was the reason why they landed their biggest client. So before I joined this company, they were doing mainly outbound, right? Cold emailing, cold calling, and that's what they wanted me to do, and that was the job that I left, right? So I left, I graduated school in sales and marketing, and I left that sales job because I didn't want to do that, and so I was very, motivated to not do that again. So I had to make this work, and it did. And from my knowledge to this day, the content that we created over 5 years ago is still getting them clients today, still getting them calls. So this is the power of what content can do for your business. Dan Bolton, very funny story. He was my client and I became his client, and I'm going to explain more about that in a second, but he was a pivotal part in me understanding the power of content. So before I met Dan, I was a glorified videographer. People paid me to to make ads. So I was really good at the creative, the script writing, the filming, the editing, all that kind of stuff. So people hired me hey, I need to make, 10 ads, and I was your guy, right? And so before Dan, I really thought the only way to get clients was through ads. But Dan actually makes over $1 million a year in his coaching business without paid ads, without working more than 4 hours a day, and without having to sell on Zoom calls. He does not hop on Zoom calls to sell. He does Zoom calls to coach, but that's about it. And this changed everything for me. I'm gonna explain more about this in a second, but this was just a huge eye-opening for me because I thought the only way to get clients was through paid acquisition, paid ads, right? Paying to get attention. And he's doing this with 8,000 followers, which is not big. in the scheme of things, in the day and age we live where people with multiple $1 million, right? It's not a lot. So this is 100% achievable. This guy's 32, okay? This is 100% achievable for everyone on this call right now. The last slide on, some of my successes is all the screenshots, right? So we have people getting 17,000 followers in 30 days, closing a $4,500 dollar client, getting 100 DMs. I have a new crisis. I have too many leads. Who here would want too many leads? Put that in the chat. Yes, too many leads. Too many leads. Today's coaching session helped me reach a new level of enlightenment. That's amazing. 120,000 views on a reel I posted yesterday. These are the results that people are getting through content, right? And my goal, like I said, is to help you guys get clear on how you can get some of these results, okay? That is why we are here. It's not, the virality of this is great. This is a byproduct of making good content, but my goal for everyone here is that if you can get clients, if you can solve lead generation, your business is going to be more fun, more profitable, and much more easier to scale if you can solve that, right? This following 17,000 followers is great. It will happen, but is not the key success metric I track, okay? Want that to be clear. So if you're getting the gist of what I'm saying, content is very important. And I know you're on this call because it's important, but I really need you guys to hear how important this is and how life-changing this can be, okay? So I talked about how I want to share a story about Dan Bolton. So I was able to meet 50 millionaires, meet 50 millionaires in my 5+ career of creating content. And the interesting thing that all of them have in common, only 3 of the 50 people actually had a social media following, actually had like 100,000 followers, 1 million followers, whatever, right? 3 people out of 50 millionaires, meaning the rest of them had under 10,000 followers. Like, I thought, my belief, that you had to have a following. Like, oh, I can't start my business. I can't scale my business. I need a following first. That's not true, okay? You do not need a following to make big money. That is the first big life-shattering limiting belief I had. I thought you had to have a following, had to have views, had to have all things to make money. It's not true. Because when you make content directed to your ideal audience and they see it, you can get customers. And Alex Mosley just posted something, I think last week, where one of his clients has like 500 followers and makes over $1 million a year. And it was a whole podcast episode. It's like, he's like, how are you doing this? And she posts like maybe once or like 3 times a week or 4 times a week. I forget the specifics. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's very doable. Whatever size audience you have, it does not matter. I have less than 2,000 followers and I make $20,000 a month. I made $300,000 since starting my business 2 years ago, right? It's not $1 million, but it's something, right? So you do not need a big following. I can't hone this in enough. The second thing I learned from meeting all these millionaires is that you don't need to run paid ads to get leads and clients, okay? This is what Dan talked about. If I go back, I scroll up. Dan makes, let's go back, $1 million in profit without paid ads. This shattered my mind when I met Dan because I was the videographer who made ads. That was me. That was like my brand before this, right? I thought that was the only way to get money, but he was explaining that as more people run ads, the higher cost and the higher difficulty it is to run ads. I'm not saying ads don't work. That's not what I'm saying. Ads can completely work, but it is going to increase in cost and increase in difficulty. So Dan had to figure out a way to get clients without that because he didn't want that in his business model. And so he learned how to speak to his ideal audience. And I'm going to be showing that today as well. So you do not need paid ads to make money. Ads are an amplifier. Like, think of it as gasoline on a fire. Once you have the fire lit, right, something's working, and you pour paid ads on it, huge success in rapid time. But if you're just trying to figure out what content's going to hit, what content's going to land you the clients, in my opinion, it's almost a waste of money because you're testing with your money. Why not test with free content, right? And this is what Dan talks about, okay? So moving on, we don't need a big following and we don't need to run expensive paid ads. Ads will help. I ran paid ads for this, right? So not saying it doesn't help, right? But you don't need it per se, okay? The last thing, I'm a perfectionist, right? When I make a video, I want it to look the best, as you see in the setup, okay? Very, very clean. But what you don't see, and what Tanya can attest to, is the messiness behind the camera, right? Because I want to be perceived as being perfect, right? And so we believe we need a perfect offer. We believe you need to have the course finish. We believe that you need the best equipment. You don't need those things. Dan makes $1 million shooting on his iPhone. And the 47 entrepreneurs that I met didn't have a DSLR, didn't have like the latest camera or the best mic. They didn't have those things. They had their phone, right? Only the three people that had a large following actually did what I do. Now, I enjoy this. I like it, right? So I geek out on that kind of stuff, but you don't have to, right? You don't have to have those things to get clients and make content, okay? So now that we got that out of the way, who's ready to learn the system to get clients? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Great. So true. So true. Love it. Super ready. Super ready. All right. I think you guys get it, right? I was going to talk about some successes. Iman Ghazi, Justin Welsh, Hamza. These are three wildly different entrepreneurs who all made it without paid ads, who all made it on organic content in different ways. Justin is a writer. He's a copywriter, so he's really, really good at writing content. Doesn't shoot a video. Iman Ghazi and Hamza made it big on YouTube. So they're big YouTubers, but they never ran an ad as far as I understand. Or if they did, wasn't that popular, right? But what built their business was organic content, okay? Some quick stats. So you can, again, layer this into your mind. 70% of marketers say that they're investing more into content marketing this year to sell their digital products. On average, 67 companies get 67 more leads from posting blogs and YouTube channels every single month than they did using paid ad strategies. And last is 62% say that it's less expensive to do organic marketing than traditional like outbound or advertisements, right? So the secret is content, obviously, right? But it's not just any content, it's good content, right? It's good content that speaks to your audience. This is the secret. It's not just your picture of your breakfast, because that's content. It's picture of you doing something that impacts another person, okay? So how do we do it? Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the how we create the content that gets us the clients. This is me like strangling, like, come on, this is me strangling myself to like, all right, come on, let's do this. So I call this the content to cash funnel framework system. So I said, I'm gonna reveal 3 steps. These are the 3 steps: the funnel, the framework to think about the content, and the system to make it happen, okay? So the funnel, very simple. You need to do 3 things in order to get someone from cold to sold. First thing, you need to create attention, obviously, right? You need people to be aware of you. Who are you? What do? You need to get their attention. We are in the attention economy, right? Netflix is trying to get our attention. TikTok is trying to get attention. Governments are trying to get our attention. Everyone's trying to get our attention because, like the saying goes, where energy goes, right? What is it? Where energy goes, focus flows, or something like that, right? Where attention goes, money flows, right? You need to create attention. This is the first stage in your funnel. The second stage, right, middle of funnel, is you need to capture the attention. Now, what's the difference between create and capture? Well, capture is literally getting someone's information, capturing their attention so that you can market to them later, okay? So if you're struggling to get leads, you're probably missing this key thing: lead magnets. Need leads? You have to make more lead magnets. Okay, so if I captured your attention on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, people expect them just like, oh, they'll find the link in my bio and they'll book a call. But you haven't given them a reason to book a call, right? It's like if let's say I met one of you guys at a coffee shop, we had a great conversation, I left, I didn't capture your attention. I created the attention, right? We met at a coffee shop, whatever, but then I left and I have no way to contact you. No way if this is like this friendship or relationship is going to go anywhere. But the minute I get your contact info in this analogy, then I can go into the last step, which is the converting attention. So if I ask someone, here's a perfect example. If I ask someone on this call right now to marry me, who would say yes? Who would say yes? Tanya, you're already married to me. Who would say yes, right? No one, obviously. No one would say yes. Why? Because we don't know each other. I don't even know if I like you. I don't know if I could trust you. This is the mistake many of us are making. We're trying to sell to people in our content without dating, without getting to know them. The first step is capturing someone's eye, their attention. Then you're taking down their information, their phone number, their email, and then you're dating. You're nurturing them through long form content, YouTube content, emails, blog articles, right? You are dating, you're nurturing them. So there's a study, and here's another point. Google made a study on the average amount of time it is to someone to go from cold to sold, like, who is a prospect to a buyer. And they called it the 7-11-4 rule because it took on average 7 hours, over 11 touch points, and 4 different platforms in order to make a sale. 7 hours, 11 touch points, and 4 freaking platforms to make a sale. That's a lot of time. You know how much short form content you have to make, 1-minute videos to make to get 7 hours? A heck of a lot, right? So in order to get clients to come to you, right, to chase you down and ask, hey, what does your program entail? Hey, can I learn more about your service? Hey, can we have a chat? You have to focus on your long game. You have to focus on the long game. This is not if you want clients tomorrow, run paid ads, right? Run paid ads. But if you want to build a system, a lead generating system that brings in your ideal, your dream customer to you, you need to follow this funnel. So here's the framework, okay? The framework to make this happen, I call SCALE. It's an acronym, content to cash. So I'll show you what traditional funnels look like. And then, let's see here. Stop sharing, change. All right. Everyone can see this here? Sorry, this is broken. Don't mind that. See, not perfect. So here's how a normal funnel looks like, right? A normal funnel that we see looks like this. People are coming along, right? This is my little beautiful stick drawing here. They're coming along. They're swiping on Instagram or they're going on LinkedIn, and you're talking about, this, and then you're talking about this, and then you're talking about this, and then you're talking about this. Maybe they're interested in this, right? So they go in, but then the minute you talk about this, oh, I'm not interested. I'm going to go out. Or maybe they're still interested, but then you talk about this new topic and they go like this. The problem with traditional funnels is you're thinking broad. You're thinking, I need to talk about many different things because I want to appease to everyone. But what happens is when you talk about too many things, what happens? When you go wide, you can't go deep. In sales, the key to sales is this: going deep, building connection. This is the key to getting sales. So by definition, it's hard because you're going wide, you're going narrow, right? People are not interested in this many things. But, I know we're all multifaceted. We all like different things. Like I like mountain biking and working out and all those things, but I don't talk about them in my content because that's not what it is I'm trying to help people with, right? I can share some of those things, but it's not the thing that's going to get me the clients, right? So the new way of looking at this is if I go narrow and someone's coming along, again, my beautiful drawing, and they're jumping in because oh, I'm interested in content, right? Now what happens? They're jumping into my world. Now I can introduce different things, okay? Now they're jumping into my world. They're following me. They're getting into the lead. they're clicking on my lead magnets. They're getting into my world. It's far easier to introduce new things into and what they need, right? So it's like selling the chocolate and giving them the carrot, right? So this is how you go deep with someone. And this is the framework that we need to take, okay? So switching back, does that make sense? Does everyone get that, or need me to talk about that again? Open up my chat here. Make sense? Does it make sense to everyone? Yeah? Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, sweet. Let's get back to the presentation. Okay. So scale is the framework. I want to think about, okay, how you can use this funnel, okay? So S stands for specific. Okay, why everyone here is on this call is because I spoke to the desires that you want. You want clients that come to you. This is your desire. If I spoke about mountain biking, would anyone be here? Maybe one, right? You know, so I spoke specifically to what you want. That's why you jumped into my world, into my Instagram, into this workshop. The other way to get attention is through talking about their fears, the frustrations, right? The ad that I said, the first thing it says, are you frustrated with X, Y, and Z? Right? So that was an ad I did where I spoke about the frustrations. Another piece of content, I spoke about the aspirations. If you want to live a certain lifestyle where you can wake up when you want, get to do what you want, you know, X, Y, Z, the aspirations that you have, they're going to stop and watch your video. So in order to create attention, you have to be specific. You have to be specific. Doesn't mean you can only talk about this thing, but if you can touch on the frustration, the fears, the desires and aspirations of your dream client, then you will win. You will capture their attention. The next part in the SCALE acronym is to create community. Okay. So if you think about like the globe, you know, how many 7, 8 billion people, you're not selling to 8 billion people. No one is, right? We're selling to the 1% of people that actually care about what we're doing. Not everyone in the world wants to be a creator founder. Not everyone in the world wants to be a content creator, wants to make content. It's just, there are a big audience and big community of people that want it, but not everyone. And so this is why our content has to build a community, right? So the content we do, right, has to build community. What is a community? It's people who share in the similar values, mission, vision as you. They share in the desires. They share in the aspirations. They share in the frustrations. A community is people who are like you. So stop hiding yourself. Share yourself. Create community. Be specific and create content that creates community. When you build community, you build connection. And that is key to getting clients. I kind of like that. Community, connection, clients. Maybe I should add that, 3 C's. The 3 C's to content. Build a community. You will build long-lasting connection and you'll get clients effortlessly. The next stage, right? So we did S, C, and now A, is assets. Like I shared before, up here, is to capture attention, to go from viewers, okay, I'm a viewer, to now I'm a warm prospect, is people who sign up for things. So I think I had like 30 or 40 signups for this workshop, right? Something like that. So those are people interested, at least they gave up something in return for something else, right? They gave up something in return for something else. So that is telling me, hey, I'm looking for something like this, right? I'm interested. I'm not bought, but I'm interested, right? So that is this stage. Oops. Assets. So specific, community, and you have to make assets. And then right here in the next stage, this is all middle funnel stuff, is I said YouTube, but it's any long form content, right? Long-form content doesn't have to be YouTube. I personally like YouTube because I'm a video guy, so of course. But if you are better at writing, if you're better at the written word, and that is your power, then Justin Welsh, way up here, let's go back to the successes here. He built $1 million business off writing. $1 million business, almost never shows his face. So it's 100% possible and doable. You just have to lean into what you're really good at, right? So create content that speaks to your ideal audience, create content that builds a community of like-minded people, and then create assets and long-form content to capture their attention and to nurture them to becoming prospects or to becoming buyers, pardon me. So the last stage in this, volcano, kind of framework here is you need to make effortless action, effortless call to actions. If going back to the marriage example. If I, asked you to marry me, you would say no. But if we were dating, right, over some time and trust is built, you may say yes, right? But effortless actions don't just like pop the question. You have to date first. So you do workshops, you do free product, you give away free products or even paid products. You do effortless actions, effortless call to actions. Hey, if you want to learn this thing, you've told me you're interested in this outcome. Well, I'm running a workshop to help you achieve that outcome. Do you want to join? That's an effortless call to action. Like you've said to me you want this because you gave me your information. Effortless call to actions. So that's the framework, okay? The scale framework. Specific, to be related and to be known. Community, to build connection that leads to clients. You make assets to capture the attention. And you create long-form content, not short, long-form content to nurture. Why? Because of the 7-11-4 rule, like I discussed. It takes 7 hours across 11 touch points and 4 different platforms to get a client on average. And that study was done by Google like 2, maybe 3 years ago. And then effortless call to actions to convert. This is the framework to take your content and make it into cash, right? This takes time. This is not a quick, rich scheme. This takes effort, right? This takes skill. But it's 100% doable and 100% achievable with this system, okay? So you understand the funnel, create attention, capture attention, convert the attention. You understand the framework, okay, scale, right? And how you implement the funnel. But how do you make the content? What content do you create? Okay, I know what I need to do, but like, what is the content now, right? So I'm gonna give you 3 different types of content, which is the system of how you can make your content to cash and make it all happen. So 3 different types of content. Show, share, and solve. Okay. So I spoke about this earlier. If you've ever been in a sales conversation, in order to make a sale, you have to be known, liked, and trusted, right? I think everyone kind of knows that saying, right? So how do we implement that into our content? You have to show them that you are a leader, that you know what you're talking about. But you're not just like telling them, you're showing them. So showing content is showing what you do. What are the tasks that you do? So you have a coaching call, you create a process for a client, you have an open house, the list goes on. What is the actual things that you do in your business that make you you? So if you're a real estate agent, what makes you a real estate agent? Like, what are the things that you do? What are the problems that you solve? A lot of times, people don't address the problem they solve. They just say, hey, I won some award on the best content creator in the world, and you should follow me. But I don't talk about the problem that I solve, right? So why would people follow me? So you have to show what problems you solve, what habits, what tools, what processes, right? So as an example, these are the top 5 habits that allow me to, show up to coaching calls with 110% energy that allows me more, customers or whatever, right? These are the top 5 tools that I use to get clients with my content. It's a really good piece of content, right? But it's showing them. It's not telling them. It's showing them. Here's the app. Here's the software. Here's the equipment. Here are the tools. Here's the process. Right? What results you've made. Here's the results I've done with my content. 300K in 2 years, $20,000 a month. All the different results that I've had. So so this is important. Show, don't tell. A lot of people get on here. Let me tell you, you want to show. How can you visually show? The power of video. We're all over, everyone on this call is all over the map, all over, some people in the US, some people are in Montreal, some people are in Vancouver, some people in Chilliwack, right? The reason why video is so powerful is because you can see me, you can feel my energy. But a lot of people, when they go on video, they are like this and they are not showing who they are. They're not showing their personality. You have to show, okay? Very, very important. Share. People like other people who are just like them, who see the world as they see it, right? Have you ever had a conversation with someone who just like has a totally different perspective of you and you're just like exhausted and frustrated? Like Like this person exhausts me because they see the world differently, right? We as humans want to be with people who are just like us. So if you want to build a community, you have to share what your motivations are, what your mission, your vision, your values, your beliefs. Like I worked with a Christian business coach. The reason why he said he was a Christian business coach because he attracts Christian entrepreneurs. Doesn't mean that other entrepreneurs can't work with him, but that's his beliefs and his values and how he sees the world, and so attracts people who are just like him. Another guy, Grayson, he got married. He's like 22. He's married, and he has a lot of young entrepreneurs who are also married, who also live that lifestyle, where people gravitate to people who are just like them. So you need to share more of your life. It's not boasting like, oh, look at me, I'm on a boat, I'm on a yacht, right? It's sharing like what the things that matter, the things that actually build friendships and connection, right? Like I have 5 best friends, and we all share the same humor. We all love the same humor. We all have very similar values and very similar beliefs, right? And I, have arguments with each and every one of them for different things, but we're still very, very close. We have our own little community, and that's because we share in similar interests. The last one is solve, right? So the hardest thing to do online is trust, right? Coming from a salesperson, an ex-salesperson who used to sell $1 million software, it took me anywhere from like 6 months to a year to sell one thing. And it was just all about trust, all about building that trust, that connection, right? Or else without it, you're going to get price shopped. You're going to go to another coach, another real estate agent, another Reiki master, another service provider. So trust is the hardest thing to do. And the easiest way to trust is to solve a problem. If I've solved a problem for you, how likely I am to you come back? If you're like, my plumbing, I had 5 plumbers and they couldn't fix my plumbing issue, and then I came and I fixed it, damn right you're going to call me back for another issue. When another issue, you're going to refer me to someone else because, oh man, 4 or 5 plumbers came in and Kyler was the one that actually fixed it. He actually solved my problem. So solving is all about the how. This workshop is a big solve. It's a big how, right? The content was a lot to do with show and share to promote this workshop, but this workshop is all about the how. I'm giving you the framework, giving you the strategy, giving you the system, giving you the funnel. I'm not giving you the habits or the tools or the tips, right? But you get my gist, right? This is all about solving. So if you look at this also matches the funnel, right? Create attention, get known for something. Share share in similar interests. If you desire for this outcome, then join my workshop and I will show you how to make that happen. That's a lead magnet, right? On desires, on fears, on frustrations. And then solving that problem. So through my own content, I built known, I built likability and community, and I am gaining your trust through this workshop. Does this make sense? Yeah? Seeing a bunch of head nods? No. Hey, can you hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, cool. I know a lot. I think it's so hot here in Vancouver. My camera's overheating, which is the funniest thing ever. It's like 30 degrees right now, and I'm in a garage. So it's like really, really hot. So if I'm like sweating, that's why. Okay. All right, all right. I have my chat closed. I'm just opening this up here. Too much energy. Love it. Yes, yes, yes. Kyler, sound issue. Okay, perfect. So I fixed it. Sounds good? Yeah? Okay. So how how do you figure out what show, what share, what solve? I ask myself 3 questions when I want to make content. Okay. Show what problem you're solving and for who. Share why your audience wants this, and solve by walking them through. So this is the system of how you like come up with these ideas, okay? So if this problem I want to solve is lead generation for real estate agents, right? I ask myself, okay, what do I want to help people, like what will help them solve this problem? What are the things that I do that will help people solve this problem? What are the tools, what are the habits, what are the processes I use? What is the content you create? What is the frameworks I use? This is how you create show content, right? So let's say content you create. So these are the 5 types of content I create to get endless leads for real estate agents. It's a great video. If I was selling to real estate agents, right? So if I was solving the problem, lead generation to real estate agents, that is showing what I would do, right? The 5 content, and you're showing the content, okay? So that's how you come up with show content. Share content, you think of what is the reason why? So why am I solving lead generation, right? So again, what problem you're solving and why does your audience want this? So what is the reason why? Well, if we solve for lead generation, then your customer, which is the real estate agent in this example, will be less stressed. Being less stressed, she or he will have more time and energy focused on growing the business. If you grow the business, you'll have more profit. You have more profit, you have more freedom. If you have more freedom, you get to do what you love. So this is how you create share content. Ask yourself, what is the reason why? Why am I solving this issue? Okay? So again, if I'm trying to come up with ideas, you ask yourself these 3 questions, and you can come up with endless ideas. What are you solving? For who? Why does your audience want this? And then walk them through the how. This is not one video. I'm not making this into one video. These are like to come up with multiple video ideas, right? So then the last step to solve is, again, how to process. So here's how you implement in a funnel. So if every single week, what I do is I think of one problem I want to solve for my audience, right? In this example is lead generation. I always think long format first, so long, like a YouTube video. And I go through these, and this will give me endless content ideas. What will happen is I'll figure out the angle I want to take for the YouTube video. But then once I figure that out, all the other 99 ideas are all short form ideas. So you see on this call, I came up with like 2 or 3 off the top of my head, right? If we actually spend an hour together, I bet you, I would put money on it, we can come up with over 100 different ideas, asking yourself these 3 questions. And this is the system, this is the system that you need to follow in order to get known, liked, and trusted. Show, share, and solve. Make sense? Okay. Is this like blowing your mind? I want to get a pulse. Is this blowing your mind, or is this like, I already know this, Kyler? Where's the chat thing? Chats, here we go. Yes, it's good stuff, great. Okay, so let's recap. Actually, let me take a sip of my tea. Content to cash. Here's the funnel, the framework, and the system. Create attention, short form content, show them what you do, get known. If you are a real estate agent, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're an entrepreneur, show them what you do, what problems you solve. Show, don't tell. Show them, show. That's how you create attention. Capture attention. You have to make assets. You have to make lead magnets. This could be a training. It could be a workshop like this. It could be a PDF. It could be what's something that people want. Make it, distribute for free in exchange for the contact info so that you can nurture, date. We need to date our customers. We need to date them. This sounds weird, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? We need to nurture the relationship, and we do that through long form content. Doesn't have to be YouTube, could be written. Okay, if you're not comfortable yet, if you haven't started a YouTube channel yet, right? It can be written. You just want to nurture them. This is where you put sales copy. This is where you solve the problems, right? And this is where the customers are being made. The more you can grow an email list or a YouTube subscriber base, the more customers you're going to have. So when I think about my content in the month, all I really work on is what problems am I solving? How am I going to capture their attention? Right? What's the reason behind it? And then what do I have to show them in order to get there? Right? And that's it. So in a month, I'll think what problems I want to solve. Why do they want that solution? And then how am I going to capture their attention through what is the, what are the activities, the tasks, the habits, the processes, the tools, etc. Okay? So, why is this not, let's see here if I can reload this so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, this is a beautiful photo of what you're going to be getting after this workshop, which is basically a PDF of everything I described, right? It's this whole thing. It's the volcano, the framework, and everything I talked about. It's on one page. So after this workshop, you can look at your notes, look at the PDF, and then you can follow this document and hopefully create content that gets you clients. I'm just looking at the chat. Took notes. Awesome. Oh, I see here. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? All right. I'm going to open this up to Q&A as I fix my camera. And you let me know what questions you have, and let's open that up for what questions you got. Mike, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I got one question.
Shoot.
What if I'm a person who I don't want to share all aspects of my life. I'm a person, I'm all business, right? I want to talk about the things I teach. I want to talk about the expertise I have. I don't really feel like sharing anything outside of that. Like my personal life is my personal life, right? If I want to build community and whatnot, can I still do that?
Yes. Yes, you can. You can 100% make content and get clients talking all about business. But here's the problem you're going to face. Okay? Let's take editing as an example, because that's something I know very, very well, right? So I run an agency. Without connection, without relationships, I will get price checked. People will look for they'll look for the best deal, right? Because they don't have a connection with you. They don't know you. So the problem that you're going to face, right? And it's not like you can still have a wildly successful business and not so the answer is you don't have to share your life, but you're going to have a hard time connecting and finding people, right? And not being a commodity without it. And you don't have to share private things. I don't share parts of my marriage, but I do share I am married. I do share that I love my wife. I don't share our little ins and outs and things like that, but I do share it because other people will relate to that. People who inspire to be married, people who are married, they will connect with me with that. So there's degrees to how much whatever you're willing to share. My question is why not? If someone is like you, if we offer the same thing, there are people on this call, they'll go with you and they'll go with me because of energy or interests or things, because I relate more to Kyler or I relate more to Michael, right? So the answer is you don't have to. You can run paid ads. There are coaches, there are agencies that you can have a wildly successful business just doing an ad to a landing page and a landing page to a call, right? That funnel has been working for ages. The reason why it's getting extremely hard is because it's getting more expensive, and as more people are making content, it's getting more and more competitive. So that's the only challenge I see you will face is more competition. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, I see a lot of people like for example, 4 or 5 times a week, I will walk up a mountain and it'll be the most beautiful view. It's gorgeous. It's, sunset and all that stuff. I don't want to take a picture of it. I don't want to take a video of it. I don't want to share it. That's for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just not something that I feel like I want to really share. Would it make me more relatable? I'm sure it 100% would. and it's
Mhm.
majestic, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. But that's like, you know, if I'm thinking about my business and the stuff that you know I want to help people with, I just kind of want to separate that. You know, at some point I just want something that's mine, right? That I
Yeah.
don't really want to share.
Yeah, and you 100% can, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no, you don't have to share your life. You don't have to do that, right? But in my experience, right, like there are things in life that are just shitty. Like I hate accounting, but I have to do it in my business, you know, or I have to hire someone to do it. You know, it's important. Now it's different from hiking, but there are things that we do in business that maybe don't agree with, maybe don't like, but that work and that impact people and that bring customers in. And so you have to make that decision, like, do I want what's more important to me, right? And if that's more important, that's fine, right? So, but I 100% believe there are things you can share, because if you don't share anything, if you're just, then you're always going to be price checked. They're always going to be wondering why you. So a phrase that someone taught me was, people don't buy into coaching, they buy into coaches,
Mhm.
right? Whether you're a service provider, a real estate agent, a Reiki master, people buy into you, not your service. They want a solution, but they want a partner to help them get to the solution, right? Those are the two things that they're buying. They're buying an outcome. I want more clients through content, outcome, but they're also buying into me because there's other people who also teach the same thing, who also do the same thing, and their prices could be higher or lower, and that is the decision of the buyer, right? So the more that I share, the more I connect with you, the more likely you're gonna go with me, and that's just in my experience.
Mhm.
So I would audit of like, what are things that you feel comfortable to share, or ask your current customers, what are things like, why did you go with me? Oh, like another example is Dan. He posted a video of his chickens. Like, hey guys, here's he bought chickens, and he got like 5 clients from that one post because they're like, oh, I have a farm and I love chickens. And it was that was the thing that pushed them over the edge. And I'm sure if you had chickens, like what's the harm of sharing about it, right? Like what's the harm in sharing this beautiful view? You know what I mean? What's the harm that you like, wouldn't someone else benefit? Like, hey, it's 3 in the afternoon, most people are working, I get to hike this beautiful mountain, and if you want to live that kind of lifestyle, like I can show you how, or whatever, right? Like, at least that's what I see, but it's completely up to you. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep. Thank
Cool.
you.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions about the presentation, about what I shared? This is your time. The presentation part's over. I'm going to be here for another 30 minutes. So this is your time to like ask me questions, and I can help you specifically one-on-one. So be selfish. Ask your question.
Hey, Carla, there's a couple questions in the chat. A couple of people said that they get the overall ideas, but they're having a hard time seeing how to apply it concretely.
Okay. So I'm going to formulate this grow course. Good. Okay. Recommend a good email platform. So email system, there's like so many. I use ConvertKit. There's a free one called like Beehive. That's a great one. It's free. To be honest, I've only used it doesn't like the email software, Beehive. Yeah. It doesn't matter the software as long as it fits with your needs, right? ConvertKit is probably the most popular one. It's the one I use. I've only used Beehive and ConvertKit. Thank you, Tony. Those are the only two that I've used. So I don't have a lot of recommendations for you, but I would check those two out. If anyone else has a good email provider, put it in the chat, But tools are like, so the funny thing about tools is like tools are there's so many tools, especially with AI. There's like hundreds of different email providers and tools. You just have to find one that works within your world, within your budget, with what you want to do. It doesn't really matter which one. It matters that you just pick one. Like a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we want to pick we want to make the right decision, but the right decision you'll never know. The only right decision is a decision, right? So don't ponder around which one. Like, do some research, look at a few. But if you're like sitting there weeks and weeks and weeks, you haven't picked one, then you're being indecisive. You just need to pick one. Man, it's so hot in here. My camera's overheating. My goodness. So let's see. System.io, easy, cheap. That's awesome. Thank you. Any other questions? If not, I can move on to the offer.
I'd like to ask a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Shoot.
I was going to expand. I'm the one that sent the messages earlier, saying the message. Sorry. I get the overall idea, and I get the. I feel like I get the system. I'm having a hard time seeing how to concretely apply it. Even when you're sharing about the real estate lead generation example, I'm having a hard time seeing okay. I was under the impression that it all sounded like one big piece of content, and you specified it was different pieces, which is helpful. I don't see what it looks like and how I can
sure.
transfer it.
Great question. So tell me, what is your business?
Sorry, I do coaching.
Coaching, okay. And what do you coach?
I coach women specifically on letting go of people pleasing, anxiety, and creating more confidence and just overall creating more joy in their life.
And what is a big problem? So I'm gonna walk you through how you can apply this. So it's a great question, and I'm sure a lot of people can benefit from it. So what is a big problem that your customers face?
Usually a big one is not feeling able to make the real choices they want to make, because they're taking into account so many things and people and always putting themselves at ease. So being stuck somewhere is a big one. So
feeling stuck. Okay, that's kind of like they're feeling stuck in life, in business. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in life, relationships is a big one as well, whether it's family or romantic
relationships. So health, wealth, relationships, basically feeling stuck in all three areas. Okay, so great question. Here's how I would create. So this system is to help you to figure out, flesh out 100 different ideas, right? So let's go through these 3 questions, okay? So we figured out what problem we solve for who, and we could be more specific, but just for this analogy, so we know what problem we're solving. That's the first question. So how can we show them how to solve this issue, right? And then this is the think of it as prompts. So I think of tools, habits, process, content, frameworks, hacks that I use to help women feel to get out of feeling stuck. So if I asked you, what are some tools or habits that you use to when you're feeling stuck to get out of it? Like if I asked you right now, could you spit off 3, 4, 5 different either habits or tools?
In terms of tools, embodiment is a big one. That's the Tanya from, I believe. Embodiment, grounding, generally speaking, going for walks in nature, these kind of things. And habits would be rituals in general. We were going for 3 things.
So here's a content idea for you, right? If I was going to do a show content, so I would address the problem. So whenever I'm feeling stuck, like I can't get out of bed in the morning, I can't, and you're describing what the problem is, here are the 5 habits I use to get out of it. Go for walks. I practice meditation. Go through embodiment practices. You go through the habits, right? That is a content idea. It's a great content idea, right? So what's a process? Now let's go to the next one. So we talk about habits. Is there a process you might follow? Like if you follow, maybe you have a 3-step or a 5-step, or is there some type of process that you help your clients to get to that result or solve that issue?
Yeah, checking in first with themselves, how they're feeling. Then usually some movement to take things off, transform the energy, get it out, and doing something that brings joy really worthwhile.
There's another idea, right? So we just figured out 2 different ideas, showing them what will help them solve that issue. You're not walking through how, you're just telling them what, right? It's very important. Showing is all about the what. What is it you're doing? Now, what are some daily things you do in your business? Like probably check emails, you're on coaching calls, what else? And it could be even like, I go to the gym, I go for walks. Like, what are some daily things that you do that help you to solve that issue?
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's one of the points where I usually get stuck, because right now I have 2 clients. So when I want to share about what I'm doing, I feel like if I talk about the same clients always, like they're gonna know, I'm gonna know, and it's just not really helpful. So for things around you were saying, like going to the gym, checking emails. I invest in coaching myself as well.
So that's a piece of content, in my opinion, right? I would not, this is just me, I would not invest in a coach who isn't getting coached. Because we can all improve. And if they're not working in their own self-development, then there's a ceiling in that coach, right? So a lot of what you're facing is a mindset issue around like, oh, I only have 2 clients, I don't want to share. Like, you want people to know where you're at, right? Because you don't, what's the opposite? You pretend like you have 100 clients, and then they get in and they're like, oh, like I thought you had 100 clients. Like, then you're not being authentic, right? So this is the thing, the more we share, the more vulnerable we can be, the deeper the connection and the deeper the impact and the better the results. The reason why I got these testimonials, right? These screenshots is because I was honest and transparent with people. It's a good coaching session when you come out of it energized, ready to get to work. This isn't a result. This is a feeling after a coaching call, right? This is what you need to do with your clients. You need to share, you need to show them. So I'm showing you, right? What is it I've done for people, right? So let's move on to share. So we came up with 3, you see how I came up with 3 different ideas in 5 minutes of, where was I? We're right here. 3 different ideas on showing content. So that's 3 days of content right there, right? Now, if you spend an hour, I bet you can come up with 30 different showing ideas. Sat down, and that's the point of the system, is to come up with ideas. And what all these ideas are doing are forming what? To get known for something, which is the first step in the funnel. Get known, creating attention, right? So in this problem that we're solving, right? If you can come up with 30 different ideas, or maybe like this is 5 because it's very narrow, right? So 30, and 5, so 65 different ideas. You have 2 months of content, right? You're gonna be overflowing with ideas. The biggest problem I see coaches and consultants and entrepreneurs have is they don't know that they can't get out of their own head. And me too, by the way. This is like, I'm not pretending like I'm all perfect and stuff. I have this problem too. So we use this prompt to get out of our own head. What problem we're solving, why are we solving it, and walking through how, right? And this will give you a content calendar, right? Instead of just like one idea. A lot of people spend a week on one idea when you should be spending a week on 30 different ideas.
That's good one.
Is that helpful?
Yes, it absolutely is. Could I just ask you for one example of a share content?
Yeah, let's do it.
Not
So
in terms of specifics, but
yeah. So what are some of the reasons why you think women are feeling stuck? Just brainstorm.
why they're feeling. I thought it was the why they want to not get unstuck.
It could be both. It could be the
Yeah.
reason why. So the problem, the reason why they want to get unstuck, and the reason preventing, like what's stopping them, right? So it is both. But that's a good question. I should have clarified that, right? So look, I'm improving too. So what is the reason why they're feeling unstuck, and the reason why they want to feel unstuck?
a big reason usually why they feel stuck is not taking care of themselves and placing everyone else before themselves.
Okay.
And why they would want to get out of that is usually feeling freer, feeling lighter, being more able to experience joy and be present to their life.
Okay. And so you see how we can make a piece of content. There's two pieces of content we can make, right? So you give the example of like why they are stuck, and then you have why they want to get unstuck. So if I was going to make this video, right, I would start off as saying, so the desire would be, if we go back again, like go back to the framework, be specific. Let's talk about the desire, right? I know that I was put on this earth to be, to make an impact, right? I know I was put on this earth to make an impact, but the problem that I face is I feel stuck. I feel like I'm just in this loop of endless negative self-talk and feeling hopeless. And if you feel this way, there is a way out, right? You want to feel this, this, and this. So you see how I'm making a video out of that? I'm sharing things, right? Sharing the reason behind the problem. Doesn't mean you don't talk about the problem, but the reason behind it. Like people buy not what you do, but why you do it, right? From the famous Simon Sinek, I think his name is. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So you have to get to the here's the problem, here's the reason, here's what they want, like the desire, and then here's the reason why, right? And so you're penetrating, right, through what everyone else is doing. Everyone's talking about the problem, but not a lot of people are talking about why it's an issue and why we want to overcome the issue. Why am I making content to help you guys get clients? Because when I get clients, I'm less stressed around my business. I'm stressed because I have to service clients. It's a different type of stress, but it's a happier stress than if I have no clients. When I have no clients, like it is like depressing. You feel like a failure. You negative self-talk, like all these issues that I face. And so by me sharing that, you feel this way, you connect with me more. Is that kind of help? So we came up with 3 ideas for what it is you do to get known, why it is you do it, and it could be your why, it could be their why, it could be, it's multifaceted, right? So my why is I want freedom. I selfishly, Kyler, I want to travel. I want to have enough money that I don't have to look at the price of a plane ticket. Like that would be awesome, right? I still have to look I still look at the price of a plane ticket, but I am working up to like not worry about the plane ticket. I also want to retire my parents. And so me talking about that, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing will connect with people. And then the reason why they want to do it, maybe you want to retire your parents. Maybe you want to feel like you're making an impact in this world, right? So both ways I do. And this is where testing comes in. There's not one way to do it. You have to, and that's why the system is here, is to come up with like 100 different ideas so that your problem isn't like, what do I create? It's like, what do I create first? Right? So that's what this is. Whenever I'm stuck with content, I ask myself these questions. All of a sudden, I never have a problem with content. I'm like, which one should I start? Which one gives me the most energy? And then through that, I'm way more consistent, which is very important for getting clients, right? If we're not consistent, you don't know when people are posting, they're not gonna, that trust isn't gonna be built, right? Does that clarify, help?
Absolutely, thank you so much. It's something that I've been like struggling with for a while, and I've gone to different things, and I've never been able to have such a clear outline and view of it. So thank you so much. I feel inspired and much more ready.
Good. So just use prompt. So I just use prompts, right? So that's why this is a system. It's a because I feel stuck with content ideas all the time. But using a system, using a prompt system, I get unstuck. So that's my solution. And there's a million other solutions. Doesn't mean it works for everyone, but it works for me. That's why I'm sharing it with you. So you'll get access to this presentation after the call. So if you're like taking screenshots or notes, like don't worry, I'll send this to you. And in the 1-page PDF, it's also there. So again, it's like, what are you tasked to do with problems you solve? Like this is a prompt. Think of it as prompts to get the ideas out, and then sharing your motivations. I should put your motivations, like you, and then your client's motivations, right? So it's the both ends, and then the solving is pretty simple, right? Step-by-step process. Any other questions? We have such a tight-knit group.
I have a question. So I've been following your framework. I have about 200 ideas. I spent a whole week and I just started, like, when you start, the ideas come out, and so thank you so much. You made it very, very simple for me to understand. And I got like very simple, again, use my iPhone, a little ring light and a mic, like not expensive at all on Amazon. So I appreciate that. But now when I get to filming, I get stuck in my head. Like I have everything on paper, but it's hard for me to speak and come across as authentic, even though it's coming from my heart and it's what I wrote in my ideas. So I'd like to know, do you have any tips or tricks to get over that?
A lot of it has to do with practice, right? A lot of it has to do with just being like, we all suck, right? When we first make a video, it's not the best piece of work. We all suck when we try to ride a bike and swim and walk and ask someone out, and the first job and every first is always going to be rocky. So it's just like, you have to understand it's going to be rocky. That's number one. Accept that it's going to be rocky, right? It's going to be tough, but it will smooth out. The path will get clear. A lot of times I am capturing more than creating. So Gary Vee talked about document. I call it capture. So instead of sitting down and having, okay, I'm making content today, there's a lot of pressure. If I capture moments of my day, like, going back to the coaching example, going on my walk, capturing me on a coaching call, and then I can reflect at the end of my day, what did I do? Who did I help? How did I do it? It's far easier to get that out in a non-pressured setting. Then when you film, you have those prompts, you have those outlines, you have that to then like tell the story of like, what is it you're trying to do, right? Because I've been there where I wrote up a script where it didn't feel really authentic, because it's like we're writing things based on what we're learning, but we haven't experienced those things. So what I do is I go out and experience it. So like Michael and I went to a workshop, right? I didn't know I'm creating content about the workshop, but I didn't know what I would learn before the workshop. So how do I plan content about the workshop when I haven't experienced the workshop? You see what I mean? So we have to experience and capture moments, and then create the content based on the experience. Because when you experience something, it's 10 times easier to talk about it. This whole presentation I built was from experience. Wasn't from theory, wasn't from I read in a book or saw in a YouTube video. It's from the experience that I personally have had, right? And the success I personally seen. So my tip and advice is to, number one, know it's going to be rocky. It's going to be rocky. It's going to take time. I still have rocky days. And then number two, capture more. And then and capture and document, like write or film the experience, the lessons, what you learned, and that is your content, right? So if you're helping women get unstuck, right, and you're feeling stuck, actually go through your own practice and experience it. And once you've experienced it, right, it's 10 times easier to talk about it. Like if I showed up to this workshop without working out, without experiencing, like I have 5 years experience, so it'd be very hard for me to do this workshop if I didn't experience those things, those 5 years of experience, right? If I was talking about working out, if I didn't work out, it'd be very hard for me to talk about it. So we put that pressure on ourselves. So be more authentic, capture more, right? And in my world, it's called B-roll. So show more B-roll, right, of the moments. And it doesn't have to be a video of just you talking to the camera. It could be flashes of moments, you walking, you talking to clients, you doing Reiki, you filming a video, whatever, right? Is that kind of Help? Okay. Any other questions before I move into kind of like what I'm going to be offering everyone here?
Just one really quick question. You mentioned that long form content is really the key to bringing in clients, building relationships faster, the whole 7-11-4 framework from Google. How do you, I understand that you're doing repurposing. How do you take the long form content, split that up into short form content to get that short form content out there without doing so much additional work, like doing purpose specific short form?
Great question. And I didn't talk about that here. So that's a great question. So I actually follow this as a YouTube formula, the what, the why, and the how, right? In my video. So it makes it easier to repurpose, right? So the what is the promise, the problem that we're solving in the video, which is usually the intro, right? So if I went through this, so I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to just go through this process, right? So I go through these questions. I go through the process. What is the problem I'm solving? Let's say it was lead generation for entrepreneurs, coaches, and creators, right? And I go through all the different whats, all the different whys, and all the different and then usually it's one or two hows, right? So this will give me a lot of insight into how I'm going to structure this YouTube video, and that will also give me more ideas. So you could just have in your YouTube video, like, here are the 5 reasons why you're stuck, why you're not getting clients with your content, right? Those 5 reasons I came up here using this question, and those 5 reasons could be their own short form video. So to get better at repurposing, you have to get better at planning your video. The harder thing, and I've done this, when you don't plan a YouTube video well, it's really hard to repurpose because an editor or you have to piece together 30 seconds here and then 10 seconds here and then 15 seconds here and make that into one video. It's extremely time consuming and difficult. Versus if you put more time into planning the YouTube video and I actually follow the what, why, how framework, right? Then it's 10 times easier to repurpose and I'll get far more better ideas. Usually your first idea is not the best. It's like the 80th idea, the 100th idea. It's like the winning idea. And so again, the more, so you follow this framework, you spew out all the different ideas, and then you piece together what's going to work, what's going to not. When you find your winning formula, what is the what is the why, and then how do you solve it in your YouTube video? Those can all be separate short form videos that you can repurpose. And you can have promotional material. So let's say you know the what was content, the 5 contents you create to get clients, right? Let's say that was the video. Well, those 5, then the 5 could be their own videos, right? But then all the other ideas, like the tools, the habits, process, can be solo ideas that you're testing, right? So on my filming day, I will film a YouTube video. Sorry, probably missed what I just said there. So I film all the other ideas that I have. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're saying build in the long form, build some of the what, some of the why, some of the how, and then you can split that up into the short form content, like those individual pieces, so that they feel like they were purpose created.
Exactly. So it all comes down to the what problem you're solving in your YouTube video. So YouTube is a search engine. So why do people go to YouTube? To solve a problem, right? And so if your problem is lead generation and you decide that I'm going to make a video about the 5 content types that get clients, right? Then all those can be a YouTube video, or the funnel to get clients with your content. Then I would do the what, the why. What is it that you're promising? What is the problem you're solving? Why is it important? If you look at my presentation, what did I do? Go all the way. What is the problem and the promise of this workshop? Okay. Then why, right? Why is it important? Okay. I talked about why is content important. Talk about stories, talk about misbeliefs. We believe this, we believe this. So this is all building up why. Now I go into the how, the solve. So you see how this workshop followed that same framework, and I could probably create like I don't know, 10, 15 shorts out of this, because each section, right, can be their own videos. So yes, what, why, and how, that's how you can repurpose it, but you have to plan it that way. You have to plan the repurposing. So if you walk into your YouTube video planning that you're going to repurpose, you will think of the video differently. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Makes sense. Thanks.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? I'm just noticing we're coming to the end, but any other questions? Happy to answer. Looking at the chat, definitely know some people who benefit from this workshop. Oh, great. Love it when people like my stuff. All right. Okay. So as I said, right, you guys have a lot of questions. You guys, now I've given you, hopefully you've gotten clarity around what it is that you need to do. What is the strategy to get you the clients? You know you need to create attention, you need to capture attention, you need to convert the attention. But a lot of your questions that you guys are having, right? Well, what's the how in how you create attention, how you capture attention, and how you convert the attention, right? That is basically what I want to offer you guys. I want to offer to work with you guys one-on-one for 8 weeks to implement this system into your business. So in the first 2 weeks, we'd work together developing a strategy, building the funnel, creating the assets, and then the next 6 weeks is all about leveling up your skill as a creator-led founder. The reason why it's called creator-led founder is because whether you're an entrepreneur, a coach, you're a consultant, you're a real estate agent, the world we live in is in content, is in creating communities, creating communication, creating impact. It's all about creating and communication. And so the more that you can level up your skill in that area, the better your business and life will be. So let me pull up what this would look like. All right. Okay. So a lot of this you've already seen, right? Talked about the successes. Let's just jump right into, so again, 8-week program starting either next week or the week after. We'll still evaluate that either on the call or on our one-on-one. I'm going to help you launch this funnel. I'm going to help you launch this system. And the goal is that you can get clients without expensive ads, without working crazy long hours, and without harder buying cycles. Okay? That is what we want to do. As I said, the first 2 weeks are all about building the foundations. And then the next 6 weeks are all about teaching you how to create the content that attracts every single client. Because the problem that you have now, when you walk away, you're feeling inspired, you're feeling good, you have a clear strategy. I have the strategy from Kyler, but now I don't know if my content's good. I don't know if this is speaking to the right audience. I don't know if there's a lot of skill that needs to be built up, right? So you have the strategy, but you need the skill, you need the hands, and you need the mindset in order to make it happen. So I want to work with you one-on-one to do that. So I run an agency currently where I do this as a done for you, right? But this is my first time doing it as a coach, right? So you guys, if you guys decide to sign up, would be founding members. So basically I'm giving you a very special price as a founding member. And what I want to do is these 3 things: make clients chase you, create more opportunities, right? Speak on stages, events, go on podcasts, open up your DMs to clients, and create an evergreen lead gen system, okay? And how that would work is coaching one-on-one with me. So we set up a time, work personal action plan, so you know what to do every single week. Progress tracker. I'm going to hold you accountable to doing those things, right? That's why we have a coach. And you get direct access to me and my team. So you're not only going to get coaching, but we will actually help you to build out the funnel, the assets, and create the ads for you, right? I'll teach you how to launch the ads, teach you how to create the content. You're going to get access to my team, okay? So the content, custom-made strategy, you get the development, the guidance from me, you get the best tools, and you get help from the Avengers of content teams, okay? So here's the price. $1,200 upfront for 2 months, for 8 weeks, or a weekly payment of $175, right? Which is a little bit more. So I'm incentivizing people. If you sign up here, instead of $1,400, it's $1,200. Now I understand, financial situations. If you can't afford that, you don't want to put down $1,200, you can pay me weekly for 8 weeks, be $1,400, but you're going to walk away after the 8 weeks with everything here, a clear strategy, knowing how you can hire a team, knowing how you can create content that gets clients, building an evergreen cash collecting creator funnel, and hopefully get 3 to 5 high paying clients every single month. So this system I want to teach you is going to make you more money down the line, right? Yes, we want clients fast. Yes, we want leads right away, which we're going to do, but this is going to build momentum into your life, into your business. So I'm going to drop this link in the chat. And if you have questions for me, you can book a one-on-one call. All the way down at the bottom, you can book a one-on-one call with me, and you can go ahead and purchase this right now. So this is the only time it'll ever be at this price, as it's my first run. And I want to be transparent in that with you guys. So not everything is built yet, but I have the systems and the strategy in place. But I'm going to be delivering it to you on a weekly basis, and then one-on-one calls with you on a bi-weekly basis. So I'm going to drop this in the chat so you can go check it out. Now, any questions on this before we sign off? No? Good? Clear? Love it. Great. All right, guys. We spent 95 minutes together. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys got some value. Please hit me up if you have any questions. I'm happy to help in any way possible. Best way to reach me, right, is on my Instagram, or if you want to email me, here's my email. It's in the chat. Just my first name, makingyou.ca, my website. And happy to walk you through the program. Happy to answer any questions one-on-one, right? No pressure, but love for you guys to join. Love to help you guys make it happen in your business and create content that makes clients chase you. So thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate it. Have an awesome day.